So welcome to this tutorial. So the height of our cap is 12 inches, but we'll be marking out 13 inches on this our pattern drafting paper. So I'll be marking 13 inches on two different sides. Then from that particular marked out line, I'll mark out the width of my cap. As you can see, I divided 25 and half into two, and I'm marking that also on that line to form my rectangle. So the reason I'm marking 25 and a half is because the circumference of the head of the cap I'm sewing is 23 and a half. So you add 2 inches for sewing allowance. So that's why we amount our figure to 25 and a half. And the reason why we are marking 13 inches is because we are taking half inch downwards, half inch upwards. So we'll be getting 13. But our real measurement is 12 inches for the height of the cap and 23 and a half for the circumference of the cap. So I'll be splitting my rectangle into two, which is 8 inches on one side and the remainder of 13 inches on the other side. So I'll be making a line to join my point. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to divide that line by 2, which will give us our center point, because we'll be needing a pointed edge at the downwards part of the cap. So as we'll be making this video, you get to understand every addition of every sewing allowance we've added, so you'll be getting to understand it. So for my divided part, I'll mark to the center of that line, which you can see I've done. So I'll also be dividing the upward part of the cap into two, because the top of the cap is not actually a straight line edge, it will be a curve. So after dividing and marking out that point, I'll take 1 inch downwards. So for the curve, you can decide on what you want. You can take 2 inches downwards and make your curve, but I don't want it that much curved, so that is why I took 1 inch downwards. So you cut. Now I cut one part after taking one curve, because I'll be using that part to cut out the other part. So as you can see now, I'm using that part to cut out the other part. So I've gotten my prototype. The next thing I'll be doing is to use that prototype to cut out my gum stay, or what most people call interface, but we call it gum stay over here. Now this is not your hair stay, this is not your paper stay, this is your gum stay. Gum stay in the sense that it is not hard, but it is not also too soft, so it is easier for the material you'll be attaching the interface to be controlled, and ironing will also be very easy using this interface. So we mostly use it because when you make your cap, you don't want to be controlling your cap with your hand. You just want it to be exactly how you want it to be and be firm like that. So after cutting out the interface, you use it to cut out 3 other interfaces, so everything will become 4. So now we have 4. So the next thing we'll be doing is to attach our interface or our gum stay to the material we will be using. Traditionally, the ashwofi material is mostly used, but these days you have to know what your pocket is saying for you to get an ashwofi material that will be enough for you to attach 4 of these. So after using our pressing iron to attach it to the material, we'll be cutting it off one after the other until we cut off our 4 identical interface. So as you can see, I'm cutting exactly the size of the interface. I'm not leaving any allowance because I've considered everything while calculating the pattern drafting we drafted before we started. So like I said earlier, I added 2 inches because of the sewing allowance. So after doing that, you fold everything into an iron, because I'm always very critical about center point. You should always know your center point when sewing anything. So as you can see, it will help me in placing one on top of the other. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to sew. So you sew everything, just leaving the top. You join everything, leaving the top. But we'll start the joining by just joining one part. So as you can see, the description with my hands, just one part. So after joining that, this is what we got. Then I'll be showing you how to get a sharp edge when sewing. So after we've done that, which you can see, now if you want to sew the other part, you have to bend it to the point of the sewing line before you make your sewing. Now doing that will give you a sharp edge when you're trying to open it to the front part. So you can see everything we've been doing, we've been using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So after doing that, you use your scissors to open up that part. After opening, you trim the excesses at the closer to that edge. Then when you open up, you are guaranteed to have a sharp edge. So after doing that, you use your scissors or whatever you're using to open up every part. So you open up every part, you do the same for the other parts, and you use your pressing iron to straighten everything out. So after straightening everything out, the next thing is just for you to join both together. Now after doing all this, you can use your tape rule to take your measurement and see if you've actually followed your desired measurement, because the next thing we'll be doing will just be to sew. So if need be, you can control your sewing allowance to get what you want. So as you can see, I've already sewed it because my measurement is exactly what I wanted. So I've done that. So the next thing I'll be doing will just be to open it up. So after opening it up, I'll use whatever instrument I'll be using to bring out all the edges. Then I'll use my pressing iron to get my desired shape. Now the palm wine tappers, the village kind of fashion, they don't even do anything after getting this. They just put it on their head like this. But traditionally, you fold it, which we are doing now. You fold it not just once. So after folding once, you fold twice, and that's why they call it ABE ETI AJA, because it looks like the ear of a dog. Because after folding it twice, you get the ear to look like the ears of a dog, and that's exactly what you get. So thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. God bless you.